JT.
Yeah, we're just getting back up in the air after refueling from Van Nuys, and there's a temporary flight restriction over the Sepulveda Pass. We're going to climb to 7,500 feet, and we're getting there very slowly, and we're shooting into the sun. But you can see there's still a lot of smoke coming off the Skirball fire. We didn't see a lot of open flame when we left about a half an hour ago. We didn't see any structures that were in any immediate danger, other than the ones obviously that were lost this morning. Firefighters really trying to knock down this fire, trying to get rid of all those hot spots before these winds kick up. But I can tell you right now, we're actually seeing a lot more smoke than we did when we left. In fact, we're seeing a little spot fire kick up on that right flank over there. We're going to try to get back westbound as soon as we possibly can, but for air traffic, we just can't get there yet. But the wind when we left was starting to shift. Daniel Romero mentioned it, that upper level winds we're dealing with, they're starting to fight each other. We're feeling that shift. So we think that's the first indication that this wind change is starting to come and starting to pick up this afternoon. And that's what firefighters are really worried about. They're really worried about all those embers, all those hidden hot spots starting to flare up and really start to get into this brush. So right now the fire was looking really good, but if the winds change and they really start to pick up here in the Sepulveda Pass, which looks like what it's starting to do right now, that could be a whole different story. It could be really bad news for the rest of the residents in Bel Air. We're hoping that they can really get a handle on this before that really picks up. So as soon as we get back over this fire and get in a better position, we're going to give you the best view we can about what the fire is doing, the direction it's going, the conditions as they change, and the firefight here at the Skirball Fire in Bel Air. Reporting live from Air 7 HD, JT Alpha, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
JT, thank you. People getting nervous, tensions increasing. In the meantime, let's check in with Carlos Granda at the Creek Fire for the latest. Carlos?
Same thing here. People are getting nervous because we just got a strong gust of wind, and we have been feeling over the last couple of hours the winds are kicking up a bit here in this area. And the reason they're concerned is you can see how close the fire came to these homes. It burned the hill there behind it, but you can see there's still some green back there. So that's what they're worried about. If the fire does kick up again tonight, because the fire is burning behind the hill, could some embers come into this area, maybe hit some of the areas that did not burn yesterday and start that on fire? And that's why they're very worried about it. And over here you can see the line of cars and some residents that are trying to get through but being told they cannot get in. And the main reason they're being told they can't get in is because they do expect those heavy winds possibly tonight, and they don't want people in here and then having to go in there again, trying to get people to evacuate again. They want to be able to make sure that this area, there's no one in here, no one could be, no loss of life in case the fire does come through this area again. But again, a lot of people are hoping to get in. Some said, maybe I can just get some possessions. We did see one person who did tell us, yes, my house did burn down. She lives in Santiago Estates. That's the area we were at yesterday. We did see these homes burn. And she just couldn't talk on camera, understandably, because she says it's been very difficult. They lost everything. She said literally the neighbors were waking her up. They had to get out of there, and that's the last she saw of her house. Got into her car, got out, did not return, was hoping to see what's left, but she knows that the house did burn down. So again, people are getting a bit nervous here, knowing that tonight possibly those winds are going to kick up again, so they're very worried of what could happen in this area. Reporting live from Sylmar, I'm Carlos Granda, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Oh, all right, the anxiety level up for a very good reason tonight. Okay, Carlos, thank you. Now we're going to go to Eyewitness News reporter Melissa McBride covering the Skirball fire right now. Melissa.
Oh, McBride. I'm like, I'm the same.
Two of the homes that were destroyed in this fire were up on Cassiano Road, and we were talking to the fire department earlier. We were there when the fire department was hosing down those homes that were on fire, and they explained to us what happened. They said that there was a matter of wind that carried embers into the attics of these two homes.
Well, we had a massive wind push that pushed the embers into this two-story home behind me that caught the attic on fire. The attic was well involved at that time. We made an aggressive interior attack on it, but unfortunately our resources were spread thin and we were able to save it. And we had a secondary home, a single-family dwelling, one story, that got an attic fire going as well.
LA City firefighters tell me that they were able to save 35 homes on Cassiano Road. Two of those homes did have some minor damage, though. Residents were told they needed to evacuate. I talked to Bianca Cave, who lives across the street and two doors up from those burns.
Melissa, I'm so sorry. We're going to have to break in. There's a news conference getting underway right now in the Skirball fire. Let's listen in.
BUTLER. He's Commander of Operations West Bureau. He's also the incident commander.
Good afternoon. Current update on the fire. We're at 5% containment. The fire has burned 475 acres. We have mandatory evacuations in place for the communities bordered by Sunset on the south, Mulholland on the north, 405 on the west, and Roscommare on the east. We have approximately 700 homes that are evacuated this time, along with one apartment building, one elementary school. We're estimating 46,000 people are infected by this fire. We're evaluating at this time, and we may be lifting some of the evacuation orders this evening, but that will be contingent upon the progress we make on containing the fire. We have more than 300 LAFD personnel on scene. We've received assistance from our partners with the LA County Fire Department, Los Angeles Police Department, Angeles National Forest, and CAL FIRE. Currently, we have 11 structures that have been damaged, 4 that have been destroyed, and those are all residential structures. We have no injuries to firefighters or civilians at this time. And I just want to stress that although conditions look favorable right now, we do have forecasted weather coming in tonight. We anticipate that the Santa Ana winds will return later this evening. So it's critically important that we get containment on this fire prior to that time. So we're working to that end right now. We would ask that all residents in the area be ready to go. And any residents listening to this broadcast that live in mountain communities should be familiar with Ready, Set, Go. This predicted wind event should last through Saturday, so we've got several days before we're out of the woods. With that, I'm going to turn it over to LAPD for their comments.
Good afternoon. My name is Commander Blake Chow. It's B-L-A-K-E-C-H-O-W, Assistant Commanding Officer, Operations West Bureau. I just wanted to kind of give you a brief update as to what our role is. We're here in Unified Command with our partners at LA City Fire as well as Department of Transportation. We have been all morning to deal with this. Really, our mission really is to kind of protect life, protect property. So we've been facilitating that by assisting them in doing the evacuations that the chief had just mentioned. So I wanted to let you know we have officers in the areas that are mandatory evacuations, and that's Mulholland to the north, Sunset to the south, 405 to the west, and Roscommare to the east. We will maintain officers there during evacuation to ensure that people that left the area, that their property is safeguarded so they don't have to worry. In addition to that, we've kind of expanded our precautionary area that we're working with the fire department on. We've moved a little bit west of the 405 in case the winds create an environment over there where we need to do evacuations. And that basically is Mount St. Mary down to Sunset, where we're kind of working with the community right now to do some messaging to let them know, hey, if you need to move tonight, you might want to start thinking about how you're going to do that so we don't get kind of caught flat-footed on that. Probably the last message I want to leave people with is a lot of the traffic apps that are being used right now are trying to route people around the closures that we have, but unfortunately it's taking them right into the impacted area. So I'd advise people to not necessarily rely on the traffic app if they're trying to get from downtown up to the valley, and to basically it will help us, it will help LA City Fire if people find a route around us and give us these streets and roads to kind of do our job. Thank you. Now I'll bring up a representative from LA Unified School Police.
Good afternoon. I'm Deputy Chief Joanna Fontanet with Los Angeles School Police Department. In this situation at the Skirball fire, we've had one school that was evacuated and 3 additional schools that were already closed this morning. And with that, I can say that we are taking careful measures to make sure that students are safe. And so if we have to shelter in place, we do take into consideration what is the air quality outside as well. And so my prediction is that there may be more schools in this area that may be closed tomorrow. You can visit lausd.net, our website for the school district, to find out if the schools are closed tomorrow. I do have an update on Clear Creek Fire in Sylmar. I've spent the last 2 days at that fire, and we basically had 52 schools that were closed and about 40 affiliated charter schools that were closed today as a result of the air quality. That situation is stable right now, but we may have more schools that are closed tomorrow as well due to air quality. And again, that will be on our district website, lausd.net. Thank you. It's been a pleasure working with everybody here and our partners. We're also helping with evacuations of residents and with the partners here, and thank you very much.
Thank you. I'd like to bring up Councilmember Paul Perez this time.
I thank our first responders in particular, our fire department, our police department, Department of Transportation, and others. We've had a very smooth, unified command. We've also gotten a lot of support from other governmental entities around us, and we greatly appreciate it. I think that's largely responsible for the fact that we have only lost a few homes and a few others that were partially damaged. I think it's important to say to folks that are in the mandatory evacuation area, if you're not out now, you really need to grab your family, grab your animals, and get out. If you're already out, please stay out of the area until we've declared that it's safe to return. It's definitely not worth risking your life to watch over your home. There's not much more you can do, but if you get out late, you're only getting in the way of emergency equipment. So please follow that. If you're in the adjacent areas, have personal property either ready to be put into your cars or in your cars. Have your cats in a place where you can easily access them, and carriers, and be ready to get your family and your animals and go. It's absolutely critical that you cooperate for your lives and for the safety of your neighbors and the ease of first responders in responding. I think because people have been so cooperative thus far, that has really helped us in having as good a result as we can. It's been tragic, but it could be a lot worse. Nobody's been harmed, so this has gone as well as it possibly could. But we have to be vigilant, especially for tonight when the winds kick back up, and so the surrounding areas need to be vigilant. And if you're driving, please stay away from the area where the fire is taking place to the extent possible, and don't be cutting through to try and shortcut. You're only, again, getting in the way of first responders.
Thank you. We're taking any questions right now.
Chief, can you talk a little bit about, first of all, has the forward movement of this fire stopped? Has it been stopped? The actual forward movement?
Yes, the forward movement of the fire has been stopped at this time.
And can you talk about the efforts that are underway right now to get a line around this bad boy before the evening falls?
So we are using a combination of aircraft to drop retardant to contain the fire. We've got engine companies and hand crews that are trying to establish control lines around the fire. At this time, as I said, 5% containment. It's going to be a tremendous amount of work to increase that containment, and that's going to be done with those resources on the ground, putting in the hand line that's supported by the aircraft.
This morning, the chief said that the objective was to prevent the fire from spreading to the west side of the 405. That has happened so far. Do you consider that still a risk overnight if the wind comes up?
It depends on the containment that we get. Yes, when the winds come up, they're going to come out of the northeast, and they will want to push that fire across the 405 freeway. So that's why it's critically important that we get some containment on this tonight.
How much containment would make you feel comfortable tonight?
Well,
would there be any?
Yeah, what would make me really comfortable is if I had 100% containment. But we need to get the west side and the south corner of it tied in, and that's what we're focusing on right now.
That's what they're out there doing right now?
Yes, ma'am. Well, we use a combination of engine companies. So we've got our crews with hose lines, and we have the hand crews that actually use hand tools to dig line and scrape the earth, cut the brush. So those two support each other. The aircraft also support them. And so it's just a matter of getting that line established all the way around the fire and then mopping up into the interior of the fire so that we don't pick any embers up when the wind kicks up and take them outside of our containment lines.
Could you talk about the weather conditions from midday for this afternoon? It seemed to many of us that there was next to no wind.
We had a very strong wind on the fire this morning when it started. That lasted till mid-morning, and then you saw as the northeast winds died down a little bit, you started getting the onshore influence, and so you get into a competing wind situation. You saw that smoke column transition from heading south to straight up. So, and it stayed that way most of the day. We anticipate that will change tonight.
Or there been any trouble with the booming at all?
I will leave that to LAPD.
No, we have not had any reports of any looting.
And frankly, I would add that I think there's very good security by LAPD, so I don't expect to hear about that. I think once we get the all clear, until then, I think all these homes will be secure.
Any injuries reported either civilian or firefighters?
No injuries at this time.
Anything else? All right, does anybody need Spanish? No? Okay, great. We will, we don't have a definite time. We're going to talk about that. Some of it depends on the weather conditions tonight, but it will be sometime tonight.
475 acres with 5% containment. You were listening to the LA Fire Department, the LAPD, and LAUSD and Council Member Paul Caress talking about an update and telling everyone to stay vigilant as this fire moves forward. Stay with us. We'll be right back.